Let's discuss today's big meeting and the protests with CNN political analyst and Daily Beast Washington bureau chief Jackie Kucinich, political editor of TheRoot.com and professor of political science at Morgan State University, Jason Johnson, and Washington Post reporter Abby Phillip. Let's deal with the big meeting that are coming today, and then we'll deal with the optics around it. You cannot have a starker contrast between two political animals than Trump and Obama. Clearly, Jackie, Trump's election is reaction formation in a part to President Obama, but President Obama is a man who is known for his tolerance of criticism and his way of struggling to find a way to meet with somebody else. Trump got in there because he tolerates no critics. But is this about them today when they meet, or you think this is just a formality?
This is about the country. This is about the transfer of power. They have to make this work. And, you know, these are also two people that don't personally like each other very much. But, you know, they kind of have to power through it.
Jason, why does President Obama have to be gracious? Why can't, I mean, I'm curious about the optics of this. Are he and First Lady Michelle going to the front door and going to glue smiles on their face and graciously open their arms and their home to Donald Trump, the man who questioned President Obama's birth, his citizenship, his family, his credentials, his legitimacy? Or can they just send an intern to the front door to let him in?
You know, you would think, that's what a lot of people think they would do, Alisyn. But here's the thing. This has always been President and Senator Barack Obama. He's always been the dad-in-chief. He's always been the one who wanted to be more gracious. He's always been the one who's been noble. It's, in fact, one of the things that he thinks has defined his presidency, his desire for his civility, his desire to be reasonable. I'll be honest with you, I don't think it's going to be like that when they're together and it's private. I think it might be a lot more contentious, but I think publicly at least, Barack Obama recognizes that no one benefits, no one in this country, no one in the government benefits if they appear to be cantankerous and hostile.
But in private, you think that they're actually going to go at it a little bit?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, given who's he talking to? You know, and I'm sure at some point Barack Obama will say to him, look, that stuff that you said about me, I dealt with it fine, right? I'm still president. I won twice. But if you take that attitude to running this country, you will see a revolt at the state level and in Congress, the likes of which you couldn't realize. I think he's going to tell him that, and I don't think Trump's going to want to hear it.
And also, look, it's not about him. It's not his house. It's the White House.
Right.
You know, this transition of power is something that has to be done. The president has recognized that many times. Abby, so what we're seeing on the streets in all these different cities is not unexpected, right? I mean, there are a lot of hard feelings here, and people are trying to deal with this Jekyll and Hyde thing of having President-elect Trump. He came out and said the things that a president usually says when they win. Let's bind the wound and be together. The problem is, for many of those people on that street, and you know, millions and millions of people across the country, he created the wounds. So how do you deal with that contrast?
Right. I mean, I think you can't really blame folks for taking Donald Trump's actual words at face value. And frankly, for most people who are elected to the presidency, what they say they're going to do is the strongest indicator of what they actually do. So it's not surprising to see that, but this is also this sort of perennial Monday morning quarterbacking in which everyone looks back and says, wow, we really should get rid of the Electoral College because it's not working out the way we want to. And I think it's just a wake-up call for some folks who have not been paying super close attention to the electoral process, that this is, in fact, the way that it works, where one candidate can win the popular vote, the other can lose and can win the Electoral College and thus become president. And I expect that the tone at the White House today is going to be entirely set by Donald Trump. You know, if he comes out the way that he did on Tuesday night and is very conciliatory and has a plan for how he's going to express a desire to bring the country together, I think that this will be a meeting that is cordial in public and cordial in private. I don't think President Obama feels that this is the opportunity for him to settle scores with Donald Trump at this point.
Jackie, I predict it will be very cordial in public and private, because when you meet with Donald Trump one-on-one, he is polite and he is connected, and he does sort of feed off the dynamic of wanting you to like him and all of that stuff. And so I think that it's going to go so much differently than it ever did in public between these two.
I agree with you, because a lot of what Donald Trump did and does is for the show. Now, should he temper that now that he's the president-elect of the United States? Yes, he should, because it's going to start having real-life repercussions if he goes off the rails on television and then behind the scenes is like, but we're good, right?
Right.
Well, also, look, I mean, I forget who it was, but somebody in The Atlantic talked about the difference between the media and Trump's followers in terms of how they view Trump. That the media takes Trump literally, but not seriously, and his followers take him seriously, but not literally. Right. So he has an advantage in this, which is where pleasing his base, Professor, is the easiest thing for him to do. You know, they got him in there. They feel vindicated. Now his task is to walk back all of the ugliness that has not just these people on the streets, but has more people in this country that voted against him than for him, thinking this guy represents us at our worst.
And economic markets that are concerned, and foreign leaders that are concerned. I remember that old 72 movie, The Candidate, where at the end the guy's like, well, what do I do now? You know, I mean, if this meeting ends up being civil, it's going to be in part because Donald Trump uncharacteristically shows some humility and says, can you help me? I mean, now, that would be amazing if he did, but if he said, look, you know, I recognize I've never done this job before. You know, President Obama, can you give me, say, 2 pieces of advice that I could use going forward? If that's what happens in this meeting, and I doubt it, but if that's what happens, I think that'll be a good sign going forward.
Unfortunately, we'll never know, Abby, because this will happen behind closed doors. And so we won't know exactly what these two say. And, you know, they won't come out and sort of reveal it, I don't expect. So, you know, it's just going to be fascinating to watch this from a distance.
Yeah, the best we'll get is a photo op that I predict. This is the one thing I will predict. It is going to look extremely awkward. We are going to have 2 people who really hate each other, sitting next to each other on a couch with cameras flashing. But that's what we do in this country, and that's what I think we're going to see today. And I don't expect to see any drama, but I also don't expect that Donald Trump, who has not had a history really of reaching out to people in this way for sort of advice or you know, anything really. I think he believes that he can do this job, and he's going to go into it believing that the guy who did it before him didn't do a good enough job. And that's why he was elected on Tuesday.
Panel, thank you.